celebrity management controversies and negative press part. So handle actors especially prepare.
Yeah, we see, the thing is, obviously anganta situation decision making is very important. So you will have to decide which way to go, whether you do this, whether you do that, whether you talk, whether you remain silent, how do you counter it at that point of time. Issues will always come up. So see, you these days you tend to earlier days we were not so conscious about it, but nowadays you kind of prepare them for those scenarios. You are also prepared for those scenarios, but you know how it is. When it happens, something new comes up and you still have to battle it. So yeah, it is at times it gets very nasty also. It is affecting the best of people, right? I just read somewhere that Dulquer also had said something. So people who've been there, done that, also get affected. So with somebody who's new and all, you can never, like we work with Priya Varrier, So again, she's somebody who says, why are people so, what did I do? You actually don't have an answer. But I think you can only focus on your work, control your thing, and do whatever positive stuff that you can do and move on. But yeah, it will happen.
Priya Varrier case of like posters, videos, barrage of negative comments. Like, how do you advise her, or how do you
No, you can't see. Every brand, everybody has a personality.
Yeah.
Now, you can't tell somebody to not have that personality and go about it. Because that is also not right. Because they cannot be something that they totally are not. See, I remember Ranjini Haridas is a very close friend. Like in the early days when I first moved to Kochi, Asianet Ranjini first host starting. Her Malayalam used to get so much of backlash. Everybody used to rip her apart. In the computer, Ranjini negative. She used to enjoy reading it, being her, our personality. So she used to like, it's fun. But eventually that made her a brand. So that she just stuck to what she was doing, and her brand was made by that. So there is no point beating the retreat and trying to be somebody else than you are not. See, Priya is somebody who was that before she came to cinema. So that she was that, after a certain age. Now when you come, you can only be what you are, right? So there are fans also. The reason why she's one of the most followed personalities is because there are more fans than there are more people who criticize it. And the people who criticize it are also people who follow her and watch her. So at the end of the day, I think, and most of the criticism anyway comes from our market, which is Kerala. It's not that people outside very rarely do it. But at times I feel we take it to a different level. I have not seen that level of a negative thing with celebrities outside Kerala in any market for that matter at times. I feel we really make it very, very vicious and very spiteful and negative, which leaves a very bad taste. We had films which we marketed, where we faced that. People have not even seen the film. കാണാതെയാണ് ഈ കമൻസ് ഒക്കെ വരുന്നത്. അതിൽ നിന്നുള്ള ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത സാധനം എടുത്ത് ആൾക്കാരിടും, അത് കണ്ടിട്ട് പീപ്പിൾ കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് മർഡർ യു. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് സാഡ്.
ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു നെഗറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള കമന്റ്സ് വന്നു കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും, ഇഫ് യു വർക്കിംഗ് വിത്ത് വൺ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ സെലിബ്രിറ്റി, ആ ആളുടെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്ത് പോകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും നെക്സ്റ്റ് ടൈം അത് റീകൂപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ചെയ്യുന്ന process
No, you have to see. The thing is, they will see. What I tell everybody is that see, we'll have a long strategy planning to everybody's brand or career. So in that, where do you want to go in say 3 years time, or what do you want to do in this coming year? We have those plans. It's not that in cinema those plans work, because there's a lot of factors which come into it. But I still am a great believer that it's better to have a plan which doesn't work than not have a plan at all. Most people don't have plans because they know plans won't work in cinema. So they just go with the flow. So I believe that even if the plans, there are only 50% of the chances of plans working, you should have a plan. Then you will know why you didn't do well, or you can have a course correction that you can. But not having a plan is not something which works with me. So we have those plans. Now, some controversy happens. You can't change your entire plan and backtrack into something else because your plan is well thought of. You also know today that there will be backlash when something goes wrong. Like there will be people who will be criticizing it. So you have provided for it in your plan itself. Very rarely does things happen which you have totally not thought of. So you factored in that, and so you probably would see at times you'll tell people not to react when that backlash happens. At times you'll tell people to react when the backlash happens. But after that you just go back and stick to your plan. Idinu compensate cheyan vendite nammal extra cheyan poi kayna, people will see through that. So that also becomes we are an intelligent space also. No, Kerala is very aware and very smart that way. So you can't, the moment you see us compensating for something also, people will tell you, pull you down for that. So it's better to stick to your plan. The problem is when you doubt your plan or when you get confused when you face that negative backlash, then, everything falls apart. നമ്മുടെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യാത്ത സെലിബ്രിറ്റീസിൻ്റെ കേസിലടക്കം ഐ ഡു ദീസ് കേസ് സ്റ്റഡീസ് like when there are big celebrities who face this thing, you think what could you have done otherwise, how could you have handled it, but I feel it's better to stick to your basic plan. One of the most aware and one of the most intelligent people you have in this industry is Prithvi, and Prithvi is somebody who keeps facing backlash for being what he is. In spite of, and I really admire him for his personality because he is so candid, so straightforward. And that is something which people can't take. But what can he do about it? He cannot not be straightforward because, people don't like it that way, right? He can't fake it. So that is the classic example, which most people will come up with.
So, talent management, marketing, you're also associated with
Marketing.
films. So, did you start with talent management, then branch out to marketing?
Yeah, marketing of films happened with, actually it happened with this film called Violin, which was Asif and Nitya Menon, because I was associated with this company called AOPL Entertainment then, which became Carnival later. So Violin was the first film I marketed because they were I basically came from a marketing background, no more than talent management, celebrity. So because they were a corporate, Shrikant Basi and this Prashant Narayan Barna were the people who were heading, their directors of. So they understood that there was a scope to market films professionally, which is something which used to happen in Bombay also. All these studios in Bombay have separate marketing departments where there are 4 or 5 people who think only marketing. Whereas in Malayalam cinema, marketing happens by the director or the producer. At times the producer is also not, the only director who does the whole marketing process. So in Violin, they entrusted me with this job, so I did this. And when I was doing Violin is when they all were also planning this film with new guys, which eventually became Second Show, which was Dulquer's launch film. So that was a huge effort in terms of the strategizing, the planning, because it was like a very, very, very tough, tricky thing. Anything could have gone wrong, and so that was a huge responsibility. That is something tension. It could have it was a big responsibility, and we I think most things we did went right. Decisions like not exposing Dulquer before we reached the launch phase of the film. The entire shoot happened without no media being allowed. You could have imagined, media was, they were so angry with me, and I had, the film magazines were strong, ellaru location coverage okke bhayangara factor aanallo. ചീത്തയൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് തന്നെ നിങ്ങളെന്താണ് മമ്മൂട്ടി ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമുക്ക് അവിടെ ആക്സസ് ഇല്ല എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട്. So my theory was, if Mani sir can shoot films without anybody being there, let us also try. But nobody had tried it before, because we wanted Dulquer to have that privacy and that peace, when he is shooting it. We didn't want pictures of him to go out. We wanted the world to see him only when we wanted him to be seen, and we wanted that to help the film. So it was smartly planned that way.
So anganthra Loki launch adu actually our decision.
It was our strategy, which Mammootty and Dulquer were very comfortable with, basically. If somebody had said no, we don't want this to happen, then we would have been in trouble. But everything was thought of there. Like, if we had really hypothetically, if he had said, oh, here comes Mammootty's son, a lot of people would have started developing one negative thing towards the whole thing. But we wanted to keep it very positive. Even having we'll have Sunny everywhere as much as we'll have Dulquer. It was strategy, it was like so, because we wanted the limelight to be not fully on him. So take the pressure off, really. Take the burden off so that he can do it on his own, which was smartly done. Of course, at the end of the day, the whole people came into the movie and all not because of marketing. It was because of the love towards Mammootty, like Dulquer himself said on our success function and all. Who would have come to see these bunch of boys? We're all love for Mammootty. But yeah, we could have ruined it. I wouldn't claim that we did something great, but we could have spoiled it. And I've seen Star Sun's launches getting ruined, in a lot of markets. Closely seen a lot of things, like what all we thought we wouldn't do, they went and did the very same things. That was a tricky thing. So then it grew. But I still wouldn't say that marketing of films is a concept which a lot of producers have still understood, So, because it's not about the spending, it's not about the creatives. It's about the strategy, or the thinking that goes behind it. That is what is lacking. See, now everybody does creatives, everybody does a teaser, everybody does a trailer, everybody does posters and outdoors. They spend on digital media. But the thought that goes behind how to position a film, what is your film's target segment, like you market a product, that is what is lacking, is what I feel.